Hello, everyone. It's the Rob and Mo Show. Two good mates who are going to give it to you straight.
Go on.
I was going to go with the great mates, but then I thought it's a bit too smashy and nicey.
Mates.
But then I remembered that none of you lot probably remember smashy and nicey because we're old and you're not. But anyway.
Yeah, I remember them. Yeah.
I do. I do too. Look it up. It's probably not worth looking it up. Anyway, so the point is Liverpool aren't doing very well right now. And it's a bit depressing. And you and I have both been on many different platforms. Watch the Late Challenge. Talking about all of this. So we're not going to talk about it again.
Did you just say watch the Late Challenge?
Yes, I did.
It's really good.
Thank you. It is very good. You should watch it. So we're not going to do that again. We're going to go into something new. We are in the international break, and I know for most of you it's a bit of a phony war, but our lads are out there all over the world playing football. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a little bit of a game. There's 15 Liverpool players out there on international duty, and we're going to try and put them into 3 different categories over how much you want them to play football.
Ones we care about, ones we don't care about, ones we slightly care about.
Well, I mean, that might be the hidden context, yes, but there's more to it than that because it's not a simple fact of normally... Well, obviously, what we all want is none of them to get injured. I think that's a given. But even within that, there are some for whom getting a bit of minutes might actually help, for some who just desperately need rest, some who maybe even need a little bit of confidence, and you look at maybe the teams they're playing against and think maybe that can help them. So I've got 3 categories here. Want them to play a lot, play a little, or ride the bench.
I've got a 4th category. Arsenal and Man City players we'd like to get injured on international duty.
No. Right.
Oh, did I say that out loud?
We've had enough karma hits already this
Okay,
season.
yeah, we
We're not
have.
going to kind of invoke the football
Yeah, I
gods
know.
on that one.
God, we're going to concede last-minute goals forever now, aren't we?
At least when we get that level, there's about another 3 to go. But anyway, let's concentrate on Liverpool for a change. So, as I say, we've got 3 categories. And what I've done is I've put for all 15 players into those 3 categories, and then I'm going to ask you for your opinion on them, rather than us both doing it.
Hit me up.
And as it worked out, I've actually got 5 in each 3 of the 3 categories. So let's start with the play a lot category. I've got Mamadashvili, Jeremy Frimpong, Conor Bradley.
Play a lot for us or play a lot for their countries?
For their countries.
Right, okay, go on.
And then 2 that you might be surprised at, Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz.
I'm surprised by Ugo Ekitike.
Yeah, I thought you might be. So my argument for this is that this is his first international call-up, proper first international call-up.
No, he was last break as well.
Yeah, but I think he played, hardly any minutes in that.
And you're expecting him to play more minutes now?
I am expecting him to play more minutes now. I want him to get the confidence of being at that level. And so I'm not saying that I want him to play 90 minutes. When I say I want them to play a lot, what I want to mean is I want them to play the majority of both games. So like 65, 70 in both games. That will suit me. I don't think that he's at the red zone in terms of fitness like some of the others are because, I mean, he did have that extra game off, didn't he?
Well, firstly, doesn't he play where Kylian Mbappe plays for France?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean... They can play together. It depends upon how Didier Deschamps wants to do it.
I mean, I've got mixed feelings on. I get the logic of what you're saying. I'd like Ugo Ekitike and Isak to be lining up in the same Liverpool team together quite a lot after the international break. That's what I'd like to see because I think they're our best 2 attackers at the moment. Well, plus Florian Wirtz. To that end, I'm not sure how many minutes I want on the clock for Hugo. Yeah, I suppose if you're saying give him 65 minutes, I'd quite like him to maybe start one and get an hour and come on for 30 in the other. Can we compromise on that, Mo?
Yeah, okay.
And just don't get injured. I mean, really,
the
less kicking of a ball they do, the safer it is for all concerned.
Yeah.
But I take your point about the confidence. I think that's important.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I mean, who are the French playing Azerbaijan and who else?
Let me just consult my list. Azerbaijan and Iceland.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know what? They're both rubbish, so there's a chance he bags for his country.
Well, this is also my point. I think getting goals in those games is going to be really important for him. Because obviously he's had that great start for his Liverpool career. Then there was a couple of games where he hasn't scored. And I'd like to see him get a few more goals and then come back to Liverpool flying. So that's my main reason behind it.
The French sort of owe him a start, I think, because, I mean, he's picked France now ahead of, is it Cameroon he could have played for? So... Yeah, I would say that a good faith thing to do would be to give him some significant game time.
I mean, Didier doesn't normally do those things, but we'll see.
No, but
so the other one in this category I wanted to discuss was Florian Wirtz, because that's the other one who some people might be surprised at. But there's a couple of reasons why I want him to play a decent chunk in both games. One, the first game is against Luxembourg, so the same rationale as Ekitike against Azerbaijan. Yeah. You want him to get confidence up, you want him to bag, etc., etc. The second game is against Northern Ireland.
Oof.
And the way that Germany play, he would be the left of 2 10s behind the striker. So he would be in that left-hand half space.
Who's the other 10? Not Musiala, obviously.
So in the last game was Serge Gnabry, but I think it might end up being Karim Adeyemi. Okay. Because he's in good form for Dortmund. But it's more about who's on the other side of the pitch for Northern Ireland. Who's going to be playing in that right-hand side? Connor. Yes. So I'm fascinated by how that particular matchup will go, because I think it's a good test for both of them. Because for Florian, we've seen when Connor's at his best, he can really be like all over it. It could be a really kind of claustrophobic defender, give you no space, and you want to see how he goes out of it. Obviously for Connor, he's in a mode at the moment where he's picking up yellows, he's kind of hurting his confidence, so you want to see how he rises to that challenge. Now, I was talking to our Northern Ireland expert Craig Hannon before, and he's adamant that Connor doesn't really play that defensively for Northern Ireland. He's given more of a free run, but they are going to be in the same area of the pitch, so that matchup is definitely going to happen at Pines.
I mean, I don't want Connor kicking Florian.
No,
let's be right. Yeah, look, it's an interesting game for both of them. Germany will consider Northern Ireland the harder game, obviously, and it'd be nice for Florian Wirtz to get on the score sheet. I mean, it'd be a while since he scored in open play for anyone. Scored the free kick for Germany last time out. Yeah. I mean, he's getting, for my money, getting better and better for Liverpool. It's just a matter of toughening up for the Premier League. Again, I think we need him a bit like Ekitike. I want to see him starting more games than not. So I don't want him getting too many minutes for Germany. I'd like them. I'd maybe start him against Ireland, but not against Luxembourg. That'd be my wish. Conor Bradley, that's a difficult one. I mean, he also is getting some serious minutes, and he's an injury-prone player. So I'm not sure I want him to play start 2, but he will.
But this is the thing, right? And this is the fundamental thing that runs through all of this, is that if you've got players who aren't at their peak fitness at this stage in the season,
do you want them to go?
I think playing more helps them than playing less.
Yeah.
Which brings me nicely into the next category, which is play a little. And there's a few more surprising names in this one, I suspect. So the first name is Alexander Isak. I think that one's probably a bit more obvious in terms of we want him to play a little and still build up to where he wants to be for Liverpool. Yeah. Andy Robertson, keep him ticking over. We don't know exactly how much more use he's going to be given for Liverpool at the moment. Kirkes has still played most of the games. Cody Gakpo, again, I feel like, as you alluded to, there might be a point where he comes out of the Liverpool starting lineup. So again, him kind of keeping ticking over for the Dutch might not necessarily be the worst thing in the world. Plus, he normally plays well for them and gets a bit of confidence. Then the last two are the ones who I'm expecting people to have a few eyebrows raised about. Alexis McAllister and Mo Salah.
We're not coming on to Van Dijk or Granberg. Yes, is that the next category?
That is the next category. Okay.
Well, okay, let's just go back to the beginning there. Who go on? You listed
Isak, Robbo, Gakpo, Maka.
Isak, I think he would have liked, Jon Dahl Tomasson would have liked to have been saying that he was starting and finishing both at this stage, but he's aware how Liverpool have managed his minutes. I can see 265s. Really, who have they got this time? They both matter, these games, don't they?
They matter massively. So they've got 2 home games against Switzerland and Kosovo, but they're in a real hole here. Yeah. So they're in a 4-team group, and they're already 5 points behind Switzerland. They've got 1 point from 2 games. Switzerland won both of them. So if Switzerland goes to Sweden and win, that's an 8-point gap with 3 games to go, and they could almost kiss it goodbye. So I suspect he will absolutely start that game against Switzerland. If they lose that might affect how he decides to look at the game against Kosovo. But I'm like you. I think that Tomasson's almost kind of did the kind Liverpool thing with the first one as a payoff to maybe getting more of him this time.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? It's hard to see a universe in which he doesn't start him in both. He's going to feel the need to do that. I mean, unless there's a reaction from the first game. But, he's quietly clocked up some minutes for Liverpool now, Isak. So we can't complain if he starts both games.
No.
But it has attendant risks for us.
It does. It always does. So going back to what I was saying before about when a player is not at their best physically, what is best for them? Is it full rest? Is it a little bit? The hardest one of all of these to assess for me was McAllister. Because you can make a really strong argument to say that we need him to play absolutely no football. But you can also make a strong argument to say that he only gets back to his peak fitness from playing football.
Yeah, I also... We've coped without him this season at times. So he could start twice for Argentina, and he doesn't have to start against Man United when we get back. Right? He could have that off. I don't know if Argentina would necessarily pick him to start both at the moment, would they?
Well, they're already playing friendly. I think they're playing in America. They're playing Venezuela and Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico one's definitely a friendly. I think the Venezuela one is as well because they have already qualified.
I mean, the recurring theme with every time you're posing these questions is, wouldn't be a bad idea for them to definitely start one. Not sure I want any of them to start two, because I think it just brings extra risks with them. Where if the idea that they'd have a whole week off is a good idea at this stage of the season when we're going to go to back 3 games a week.
Well, the thing to remember as well, and this is a really good thing for this international break, is that most of them are wrapped up early. So everybody except McAllister, Mamardashvili, Kirkez and Szoboszlai will be back by Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then with the game against Manchester United is Sunday. So that's almost a week there anyway.
Oh, that's fair.
So there's
a rhythm issue.
Yeah, there's a good chunk. Yeah, you're right, there is a rhythm issue. But there is a good chunk for Slot to be able to give them a couple of days recovery, then give them 2 to 3 days on the training pitch.
Yes, I mean, there's miles on the clock as further on. But no, I'm inclined to agree with you there. If we've got that kind of 6-day gap, then yeah, let them play then.
So the interesting thing for Mo Salah...
Oh, Mo Salah, what games have they got, Egypt?
So they're playing Djibouti. Sheikh Djibouti. Always one of my favourites. I can't... Sorry, I don't know anyone who's from Djibouti, but it just always reminds me of that song.
No disrespect to those guys, but it is a funny name.
Shout out to Frank Zappa. And they're playing Guinea-Bissau. But the thing about Salah is that the first game against Djibouti is tomorrow. So...
It's early.
Yeah, it is early. And then the Guinea-Bissau game is on Sunday, so he'll be back on Monday, so he'll have almost a whole week. And it's a difficult one with Egypt because you know that obviously he's going far away. There's lots of demands on Salah as an international player, as the talisman of Egypt. So it's not just the actual games for him, it's lots of the other surrounding stuff. But I also feel like he could do with banging a few in.
He could, but sort of looking at the bigger picture with Salah, given his age, I'm of the mind that, you could have made a case before he signed his last contract for Liverpool that he might have retired from international football, but given his status, that was never quite... back home, it's never realistic. But I do think we're at the stage where he should be able to say, most of these international breaks, I don't really need to play more than one of the 2 games, unless they're absolutely do-or-die qualifiers.
Yeah.
I don't think these are. So,
No.
So I don't think it's right, really, that he plays 2. I mean, maybe he gets thrown on for 15 minutes, the other one. I'd like to see him excused one of them.
I think that's fair. This is kind of what I've heard that the play a little group is for. So you can maybe play 60 in one and then not play the other.
Yeah.
That kind of situation.
That suits all good.
Yeah, or 2 30s, or depending upon how the manager sees it. But yeah, 70 minutes max total of it to 2 games. That's kind of what I'm thinking out in this group. So the final group, players who want to ride the bench, players we don't want them to play at all. Unfortunately,
the ones that are going to play,
they're all going to play. They're all going to play. And part of the reason why I don't want them to play at all is because we know that they're going to play 2 games, and because they're the players who played the most for Liverpool. So, Virgil van Dijk, Dominic Szoboszlai, Ryan Gravenberch, Milos Kerkez, and Ivo Konate. Now, I don't know what the situation is with Konate's quad injury. It was mentioned when he arrived on the international duty that they were going to assess him. So I'd like to think that Deschamps might be cool and just be like, okay, well, thanks for turning up, Ibu, but we don't really need you to kind of put yourself in the red zone for us.
And they've got who they got? Azerbaijan and who did you
Iceland.
say?
And Saliba, who was injured, is back to full fitness. They've got Upamecano. They've got this France. They've got like 20 million different centre halves. They don't need it.
Yeah, I know. So, well, did he play both last international break?
I think he played one. He didn't play both, no.
Yeah, and I can see that happening again, if at all. I mean, hopefully they won't take any. They don't need to take chances on him, and hopefully they don't. So that takes us on to Virgil, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai.
Yeah, so I think obviously with Virgil and Szoboszlai, we just have to cop for the fact that they're probably going to play 290s.
Captains of their countries. Are they both sets of games important?
Yeah, well, they're both playing qualifiers. Although the Netherlands are playing Malta and Finland.
Oh, come on.
So yeah. I mean, even if
Malta,
even in a world where they do play both, they're not going to be overexerted. So that's good news. For Hungary, however, they're playing Armenia and then Portugal. So again, Armenia,
Portugal's a big game.
Portugal's a big game, and they are very much necessary points for them in their qualification hopes.
Yeah, that's not good, this.
No. So those four, the two Dutch players and the two Hungarians, I think are going to be the ones most people are going to be nervously watching, because they are probably going to be the ones on the pitch for the most amount of time, even though we've put them in this bracket.
Well, Ryan Gravenberch only got picked for one of the two last time, didn't he? And I don't quite know why, but do you?
I don't know. No, maybe that was, I don't know.
He was on the bench, but he wasn't involved in the second one.
No. And so you can see a world where maybe they decide that they don't need him for Malta. You'd think that they should be able to deal with Malta without him.
I mean, the league club managers must be well versed in getting in the ear of their international, not adversary, the international manager in question. They must be well versed in doing that and picking up the phone and going, just have a little think, hey.
I mean, we know that Ronald Koeman's a good friend of Liverpool already, don't we?
We do, Red Ron.
Yes,
we do.
So hopefully that.
So look, it's any way you riddle this, it's just cross your fingers and hope.
Yes, but that is basically the watchword. We want them all to come back fit.
Well, Toru Endo's already injured, I think.
He is, although he didn't get called up. Although I'm not sure how injured it was, or it was just one of those things where it's like it's not worth him travelling all that way, because they at Japan are also already qualified.
Right.
So I think that probably comes into it. And then there's the fascinating situation of the players who aren't called up at all. Curtis Jones, Joe Gomez, Chiesa, to name three of them.
Rio Engamo, or has he gone with the
No,
trainee
he's gone with the under-19s, him and Trainee only under-19s.
It's mad that, he can play Premier League football, but he can't quite get in the under-21 side.
I mean, to be fair, England under-21 side is pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is nuts, isn't it? But it's one of those situations where hopefully it doesn't come into it, but having those players who aren't going away at all is probably going to be of benefit.
Curtis not go away?
No, this is a couple. It's the Curtis situation in England is very strange, because Tuchel used him extensively in his first two squads, to the point where he played one game at right back ahead of Trent, who was fit, and now he's just not playing him at all. He's dropped down the pecking order. And the first one of this year, you could say that maybe he hadn't played a lot. He was not necessarily in it, but if you look at the quality that he's got, and you look at the qualities of the guys who are in the team, I dare say there's probably something in the back of his mind where it's just like, how am I still losing out to Jordan Henderson? I thought he left and I wasn't going to have to deal with that anymore.
He's behind Jordan Henderson.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Anyway, but yes, that's all international football, which I'm sure you will all not be watching, but these are some things to keep an eye on. So, part 2 of the show, we aren't going to be doing another show before the Manchester United game, so let's talk about the Manchester United game.
We're not going on next week.
No, not the schedule I looked at anyway.
Huh.
It's a work in progress. But anyway, let's talk about Manchester United. So obviously they had what they would call a morale boosting win against Sunderland at the weekend, but they bloody needed it, because up until then it had been a torrential horror show.
I think in a way, I'm glad they got that out their system. You know, they got the win on the board. I think the narrative of them coming into facing us in dire straits with another defeat, even though we're not on form, would have, I don't know, it's the last couple of years we faced them and they've been in a terrible place each time. And the complacency around the approach to the fixture has not helped us, I don't think. People have gone, we are definitely beating this United side. Now, obviously, we're going to be strong favourites to beat this United side. But to my mind, and we should heed the lesson of the last 2 years, it's a derby.
Yeah.
It really is a derby. And they treated it as a derby very much. In fact, they gave it more than I think Everton give at Anfield, really, in derbies. And we have to be ready for them. It's a difficult game, as far as I'm concerned.
I think it's a difficult game psychologically as much as it's a difficult game tactically. We've talk about the quality of the players that they've got at their disposal, how badly they are playing, etc., etc. But as you acknowledged, whenever they come to Anfield, it's a different set of fish. Even at their worst last season, their performance at Anfield, I think, was probably one of their best of the season, even though they didn't win. And the things that I want to focus on from that game, there's two things. One, I think physically, in the tackle, in the intensity which they played, they were at it more than us. And I don't know if it was that complacency thing that you just talked about, or whether it was just they were more willing to empty the tank at that point than we were. But that, I feel, is like a non-negotiable. We need to win that battle.
Yeah, I think they surprised us with their work rate. We weren't ready for it. We thought that they'd come to Anfield, sit in a low block and be grateful for any crumbs they'd get, whereas they decided to be front-footed and take the game to us. So I'll credit the manager. He must have sort of got them fired up for that one. And yeah, they were good. And some people said on the day maybe they deserved it. I think they nearly won with the last kick of the game or something like that. I think they've only got worse. That's the good news. Yeah. We need this. We need the points here come hell or high water. There's must-wins and then there's this one. This is very must-win for Liverpool.
Well, this was my second point. It's the fact that the other difference between this game and the game last season is that last season Liverpool just come off the back of probably their two best performances of the season at Spurs and at West Ham, with absolutely flying, no doubt about how great we were. Now confidence is at the lowest ebb it's been for a while.
Yeah.
So I think since the dark days of the Goodison defeat almost a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So Liverpool really need this result. Now, that almost desperation for a result to kind of start to rebuild confidence, do you think that can be harnessed in a positive way, or do you worry that might kind of slip into a negative way? So, for example, say United nick a goal early. Do you think that might become a problem?
Well, yes. I mean, I think in an absolute sense, it always is. And if you're on a losing streak, conceding first again is not going to be good. Having said that, the losing streaks all happened away from Anfield.
Yes.
Difficult games. I would say, whereas United's far from an easy game. I think it's a comfort, we're in our comfort zone of Anfield. I think the crowd will be with us. And if we do go behind, I think we will have the strength of character, the muscle memory to come back at them. But I think what we'd all like to see is Liverpool not going behind. I think and it's to state the obvious, Liverpool need to stop looking defensively like a team that gives gifts away routinely.
Yeah.
And that's what we really have looked at, at times this season, but certainly from Crystal Palace onwards.
Yeah, that is true. I think there needs to be a kind of a mental focus and when you've conceded late in your last two league games, I feel like that's one of those things that's definitely going to be up for discussion amongst the team. You back the players in that dressing room and the coaching staff to be able to highlight, prioritise those kind of things and focus on them and make sure it doesn't happen again. But
I'm hoping, Mo, that we, touch wood, we've got a fully fit squad, the other side of it. That we can start to go, it's not just a fully fit squad, it's some really good players who are a bit more integrated and close to, what's the word, match fitness, that we have something closer to the real version of Isak, the potential to put him in tandem with the exciting Ekitike, a more honed, more comfortable Florian Wirtz, You know, if we can put those 3 key new signings in the side together, who's with them? Mo Salah probably, if they all stay fit. We've got that kind of balance, and then you look at, well, let's put Gravenberch and Szoboszlai in his correct position. Maybe you're giving Frimpong a go. I don't know. On paper, the team is still the exciting, appetite-whetting team that it looked when we were building it in the summer. The problem we've had so far is there's been such a gap between, in theory, what we expect each of those names to produce and what they've been able to produce for one reason or another. Fitness, form, getting used to the team, getting used to the league. I'd just like to see a point where that all begins to coalesce and we can go, hang on, this is a vision of the future.
It can all click in one magical moment. And that's the other benefit of playing a game like Manchester United, is the fact that for all of the depressing conversations that have been going on, for all of the anger and possibly over the top, definitely over the top, extreme reactions, a win in this game, and a good, handsome win in this game, can get rid of a lot of that in one fell swoop.
For us or them. Well, for them, I think this is a free hit of a game, and that's why I'm sure they'll give a good account of themselves. But it's up to us to assert our superiority, and I think it does help that 6 days. The 6 days you told me about earlier, that really cheers me up, because so often after an international break, it's similar to when you play away in Europe midweek. It's difficult to expect the same intensity for 90 minutes from your side. It just is. 6 day break, you think, yeah, they're refreshed, remotivated. As long as we've got the main boys all fit, it feels set for us.
Absolutely. Give them a chance to properly attack this game. That's what we want. That's what we hope to see. I'm not going to ask you for score prediction.
No, don't.
But okay, do you think...
I'm quietly confident, yeah.
Yeah. And one thing I will last say, for those of you who aren't confident, for those of you who are a little bit more nervous about the situation, we have to invoke the spider theory. They are much more scared of us than we are of them.
You see, I'm arachnophobic. That doesn't work for
me. Well, I would tell you the same thing. They're only really small. Well,
yeah.
Look.
Okay, the point is made. So Man United are a spider.
Yes.
That's okay. I'm United phobic as well. So okay.
Look, right. You can put a glass over them. You can slide a bit of paper over them. Or you can
whack one with a shoe until it's splattered all over the gaff.
So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily splat them in the gaff. Anyway.
No, I get somebody else to do that because I won't go near them.
So I'm being told to wrap this up, maybe because of time or maybe because Milo just doesn't want to hear more about
spiders. Because big spiders phoning in is very offended. We're offending the spiders out there.
So, apologies to all you spiders out there. Apologies to anyone who was expecting any serious football chat.
That's friends who are spiders.
Yes. I've got some of my best friends are spiders. Anyway, thank you for watching, as always. We'll be back again at some undisclosed time once we actually look at the schedule. Thanks for coming, Rob, as ever. See you again.